Welcome to an artist's life. I live by the sea in New England, and I love to share my quiet, simple life of art and garden and home. So I hope you will feel that you can come and join me. Welcome to an artist's life. Good day, everyone. I just had to share this lovely early morning with the mist. See how still low tide is. You can see the reflection of the house and the mist rolling out to sea. It looks to be a beautiful morning. And that feeling of summer is beginning as the neighbors have one of their boats out on one of their moorings already. Summer isn't very far away. Summer is icumen in, loudly sing cuckoo. It's such a lovely and beautiful day today that I think I'm going to start out our day with some cut flowers. Now, as it's still too early for too many flowers in my garden, I'm happy to take advantage of all the flowering trees we have. So cutting some branches of this flowering crab on the long walk to the boathouse. It's really beautiful this time of the year, and actually I try to keep this shrub cut lower to keep my view from my studio better, but I didn't remember to do it last autumn, and as it was in blossom, I'll let it bloom first, and then when it's done blooming, I'll trim it down to probably about my height, because this sits lower on our walk to the long walk. That sits lower than our main lawn, and my studio in the house allows me to then see over it once I trim it down. But I love to gather just basic flowers from the yard or from the wood or when I'm walking, and sometimes I just use twigs mixed with other things as well. But since it's very spring coming into summer, I couldn't help but grab some of the blossoms. And let's head out front to the front garden and grab some lovely lilacs. Now, we were here the other week and I was getting some of my magnolia, which you can see to the right is done blooming, but now the lilac is full of lovely blooms. I'm actually surprised because I gave a really hard prune to both of these shrubs last year, just because they really needed it. We've been slowly trying to clear out a lot of the loose or the various trees and things to make it nicer for the garden. So, but it's just nice. I think today I'm just going to make I wouldn't even call it an arrangement. I'm just going to grab a cluster of lovely lilacs and some of the flowering crab and stick them in a beautiful vase with some water, just to enjoy whilst we draw. Now, let's get ready to draw some lovely things. As I've mentioned before, the herons have come back for the summer, and so I can't help but be inspired by them. So I think today's drawing is going to be of a heron. And so let's get started with that. So in my usual way, drawing digitally, I use multiple layers. So here you can see on this first layer, which I can turn the other layer on as well. So this first layer here is just the shapes and the position. And then I'm turning on the sketch layer, which is this layer here. And then if I turn on this layer, this is the final layer. So let me see if I turn off the sketch layer, and that's the final outer sketch. So turning it on again. So basically 3 layers. I start with shapes and positioning, then I do a rough sketch layer, and then I do a finalized sketch layer on top, which is what we have. So now that we have our finalized sketch layer, let's set that aside, and I will open up the screen so that you can also enjoy the view and the heron on the rock as we color in this heron. Now, as I've mentioned before, I don't often try to necessarily use realistic colors in my artwork, and since we've been gathering flowers today, the lilac colors of the lilacs and the little bit of purpley lilac shades in the blossoms of the crabapple tree have inspired me. So today our blue heron is going to be a bit more of a lilac heron. So here I am just starting with basic colors underneath, as I knew I wanted lilac to be the sort of base color. I colored that in and then just put touches of yellow here, because obviously yellow and lilacs and blues work together quite well. And so now I'm just going back in again with digital chalk and digital pastel, just kind of playing with lights and darks, but trying to keep with that color story of the blues to the blue lilacs to the golds, and just really having fun with it. Now, I always get inspired by where I live, though I guess I don't often share landscape paintings, but because I'm always so intrigued by animals, and because we have so many animals around us in nature, I can't help but want to be inspired by them. So here we have the filled-in colors of our lilac heron, and now I'm using blue as the background, inspired of course by the sea, and to kind of ground and make the lilac colors pop. And I think that's a pretty good study here. And then I go in, and as I've mentioned before, I like to erase on another layer in the background layer, and then play with color, often with yellows, and or a color that will take a little bit of what's in the lighter colors in the image. In this case, it happens to be yellows and golds, and kind of almost do an outline to make the image pop behind the background. Now, although I consider this somewhat of a study, I'm not sure that this would ever be an oil painting. I think in many ways I like doing just the study of the things in pastels and chalk. So I think what I'm hoping to do on my Etsy site is I'm going to start taking some of my animals that I've been drawing like this, and hopefully now that I'm getting into drawing more consistently as I'm trying to work out my YouTube schedule with my drawing, I want to start turning my animals into sort of fun, downloadable things that someone could print out and use as like tags to put on jars to label things in the kitchen or in their craft room or in their study. So I think that's something I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks, and I think our lovely lavender or lilac heron will be part of that. So hope you enjoyed this sketch and looking at our lovely herons. So let's just pop outside for a quick little interlude and break after our drawing. Well, I'm going to sneak up and see if you can hear the terns, see if you can see the terns eating, and I think I can capture the herons again before they take off. They're busy hunting, so usually when they're fishing, they don't pay as much attention to me as I sneak up on them. But this is a heavy heron post. But I'm just so happy they're back. And as their numbers increase each year, they tend to find more fishing areas along our coasts. And this year, this little flock has really started to enjoy our spot. But mainly I came out because I just thought it was, well, I'm taking a little break from sketching, and I just thought it's so pretty to see that simple little cloud just hanging there? Doesn't it look like a little pantomime cloud hung by a fishing line in a theater set? The sky is clear and blue, and then just that one little puff of a cloud. And then if we move over here, you can see a couple more clouds. But I love when the sky is just so blue and vast, with the blue sea below and little striations of green, and then you just get the little puff pantomime clouds hanging. Oh, and there goes a heron, probably waiting for me to go back inside so they can come back and hunt. But the terns are really making a ruckus today out hunting. And in fact, this is the time of the year when the terns start returning as well. I haven't seen Algernon Seagull and his wife today. Now they are our companions year-round. They don't migrate to the south like our neighbors and the other birds. But the terns are always entertaining with the herons. Okay, that's enough of an interlude. I just wanted to share my pantomime clouds and just on our little break today, on today's vlog about herons and sketching. And now we can end our day with our flower arrangement and a cup of tea. Una and I will sit here and enjoy the rest of the day. And besides she and I, the herons, the stars of this vlog, are also joining us outside. Because sitting out on the shore was one of our herons. So Una and I can sit back with our tea and relax until it's time to get back to more artwork. And yes, even another heron has joined us. It's been a heron-filled day. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And remember, stay creative. Cheers.